Hello, everyone. This is Brett, and thank you for joining me. Today is episode 10 in my ongoing weekly playlist series where I show and discuss 5 albums that have been in rotation over the last week. As always, there will be a link to the playlist in the description, which collects the 3 recommended tracks from each of these releases, as well as all the songs from the previous episodes. So let's kick things off with a CD. This is Idera. The album is called Ambiguous. This came out back in 1996. German ethereal darkwave duo. It was their one and only release. Um, Super underrated in my opinion. I discovered them back in the early to mid 90s through some compilations that Cleopatra Records put out, some goth comps, and a few of their Edera songs were on there. And then I was in Carlsbad, California, I remember, and at a store called Spin Records back then, and I remember encountering the CD and picked it up back then. Um, Beautiful vocals from Katrine Milan. There's a fabulous version of Susie and the Banshees' Last Beat of My Heart on here. And if you're familiar with the Norwegian group Bel Canto, I think you'd really like Idera, especially the track Never really reminds me a lot of Bel Canto. Colors of Indifference, which is a great song, definitely has some trip hop vibes to it. My 3 recommended songs are For You, Good Things, and Vague Inklings. I'm always in the mood for this album, and when I put it on, it's just fantastic. So if you've never heard of Idera, pretty obscure, um, check out that playlist. All right, next up, this is the 11th and the most recent album from the German goth rock post-punk band Pink Turns Blue. This came out back in 2021, and it was my second favorite album of the year. If your familiarity in post-punk starts and stops with the band Joy Division, I highly recommend digging into Pink Turns Blue. Although this is their 11th album, I feel that it rivals their best work and is top tier um, album from this band. Singular guitar lines, driving bass, really catchy songs. 3 favorites, It Fades Away. It has this guitar theme during the choruses that is just sublime. You first hear it right just shortly after the 1 minute mark. So, so good. Their second favorite, There Must Be So Much More, is a fantastic song and not even trying, but man, this whole album is really, really good. So that's Pink Turns Blue. The name of the album is Tainted. All right, next up, here's one that just came out back on July 26, 2024. This is the second album from Humanist. This is called On the Edge of a Lost and Lonely World. Humanist is a project from a songwriter named Rob Marshall. Rob co-wrote a bunch of songs with Mark Lanigan. The Gargoyle album is one example. Both Humanist Records features a whole cast of guest vocalists. The first album featured Mark Lanigan, Dave Gahan from Depeche Mode. You had Mark Gardner of Ride, and several others. Dave Gahan is back on this one. Released on Bella Union Records, which is the label from former Cocteau Twins member Simon Raymond. And despite it having different vocalists on every song, it's surprisingly extremely cohesive. 10 tracks on the vinyl edition. The digital has an extra 3 songs on it. So let's dig into the 3 songs. Brother, sung by Dave Gahan. Um, if you haven't heard Shock Collar from the first Humanist album, I highly recommend either hitting pause right now or when this video is over, definitely checking out Shock Collar and the song Brother. I don't use the word amazing very much, but both of those tracks are amazing. Brother is a tribute to Mark Lanigan, who passed away, and Brother is what he would refer to all his closest friends. Um, Great, great, great song. Second favorite, Too Many Rivals, which features Tim Smith, who was in the band Midlake on vocals. Every time that song starts up, I think it's Tom York from Radiohead. But that quickly goes away as the song moves along. Another stunning track. And my third favorite is The End, sung by Madman Butterfly. That one gives off some Sigur Rós vibes to me. Some other vocalists that are on here, you have Isabel Campbell, who is a member of Bell and Sebastian, and Ed Harcourt. So this is Humanist. Highly recommend you guys checking this one out if you're unfamiliar. All right. All right. Before I get to the fourth and fifth, I just want to mention if you're new to the channel and have yet to subscribe, please consider clicking that subscribe button. Hit like, leave a comment. All of those things help support the channel. As always, I discuss all kinds of music with a special emphasis on 80s, 90s alternative, post punk, Britpop, goth, shoegaze, dream pop, new wave, etc. So, fourth album from this week is the 1982 debut from Bad Brains, Washington, D.C. group. I remember having this on cassette back when I was a teenager in the late 80s, and I became aware of them through that Jane's Addiction home video called Soul Kiss, where Perry Farrell is talking to this older gentleman, and he asks Perry um, what Jane's Addiction's music is like, and he says it is a cross between Duke Ellington and Bad Brains. So I seeked out Bad Brains all the way back then and got that album back on cassette. Um, Three favorite songs. The opening track, Sailing On. What a way to start an album. It's just fast, chaotic, yet it's super catchy. Love the vocal performance and the backing vocals on that one. My second favorite, Band in DC. The note choice in the guitar solo and the tone of the guitar is sublime. Third favorite is Jaw Calling. I remember the first time I heard this on that old cassette tape. Jaw Calling came on, and after the opening one, two, three, four, five songs that are fast, chaotic, all of a sudden this subtle reggae tune comes on, and it's such a good one. So Bad Brains debut album back from 1982. All right, last thing of the week. Here's a new reissue that just came out this past Friday, July 26, 2024. And that is the new RSD Essential version of the Misfits' second album, Earth AD Wolf's Blood. Let me show you the actual record on this one. It is on this cool purple and black swirl, which looks really, really nice. Matches the cover quite perfectly. Um, so this album came out a couple of months after the Misfits decided to call it quits after their show on Halloween back in 1983. This came out in December. Um, the whole album is less than 15 minutes. There's only 9 songs. It's definitely more of a hardcore punk record than Walk Among Us or Static Age. Really fast tempos, maybe less melodic, but a fun and wild ride. Three favorites: Demonomania, which is lasts for a whopping 45 seconds. We have Green Hell. If you're familiar with Metallica's Garage Days EP from back in 1987, then you definitely know the song Green Hell. And my third favorite is the title track and the opening song, Earth AD, which sets the pace for the rest of the album. That's Misfits with Earth AD, Wolf's Blood. And those are my 5 albums from this week. So curious to hear what you guys have been listening to. If you picked up any of the new ones here, if you're familiar with any of the older ones, I'd enjoy hearing from you. So thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon. Goodbye.